station staff. When he called the station staff, they repeatedly asked him, do you really want to do this? Do you really want to report this incident? Do you really want to stop the public transport network? Are you sure you want to do this?
Shame.
Absolute shame. After a lot of to and fro, he actually relented and he was asked to move on to another carriage. Unfortunately and shamefully, this incident happens too often in Australia. We are often told to ignore it, to let it slide, to let it go. Well, friends, I for one am not willing to let it go. I'm not going to let it slide. And are you going to let it slide? No. Are you going to let it slide?
No.
Absolutely not. And that's why we're here today together. We will not let this toxic racism fuel and destroy a harmonious society that is Australia. We know that racist incidents are not isolated. They're not one-offs. They're not rare. Racism is a structure based on old power, colonialism, and white supremacy. These things don't go away. They actually linger and fester in society till we actually stand up against them. Our Indigenous brothers and sisters know this too well and have known that for a long time. And of course, in politics, it's either often ignored or actually sometimes even fueled. There is enthusiasm in some politicians in tolerating the underlying racism in some parts of Australian society. In the last few years, we've seen such a shameful rise in some conservative politicians pushing their bigoted agendas and feeding fear and prejudice in society. We've seen proposals to ban women from wearing what they choose to. We've seen this hysteria around halal certification. And we've seen ridiculous but thankfully short-lived rules to relegate Muslim women to glass boxes in federal parliament. And this is all part and parcel of perpetuating fear and racism in our society. Recently, we saw government MP George Christensen actually speak and support the racist Reclaim Australia rally without sanction, without admonishment from his party. Tony Abbott refused to openly criticize him. Now that Mr. Abbott is no longer Prime Minister, and I have to say it feels good to say that. Now that Mr. Abbott is no longer Prime Minister, I call on Malcolm Turnbull to stand up to racism. If Mr. Turnbull is serious about a different style of leadership, he must challenge the bigots in his government and in society. He must condemn Reclaim, the UPF, and all their mates unreservedly. He must join with us and tell them that their tactics, their slogans, their hate have no place here in Australia. We should actually be flipping the terms of debate from exacerbating war and bombing and division to bringing peace and harmony. Leadership and courage at this time is extremely vital. But we can't, of course we can't leave it up to the political elite to do this. It's up to us, all of you, the community, to defend and strengthen a diverse, beautiful, multicultural Australia. And it's rallies like today that we give a very loud and clear message to this government. We reject their us and them rhetoric, which creates division, not harmony. We reject dog whistling, fear-mongering, and war and bombing. We want to live in an inclusive, progressive, equal, caring, compassionate society. And there is no room for racism and Islamophobia in Australia.
Woo!
We will not remain silent. We will stand up and we will defend our freedoms and our rights. We will stand up and we will say refugees are welcome here. And the Greens will be standing with you shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand. Thank you.